Understood. Got it. Okay, so basically you just convert to a GLB. When you get BIM assets, they are basically to the same scale as the Matterport model, so scale shouldn't be an issue. It should just match. It might just be a matter of tweaking the XYZ coordinates so it fits where it's supposed to fit, and that's it. It's kind of the same concept as, like you said, adding in a couch, where you want it. It's that, or this statue. Yeah, just moving
Exactly. Yeah.
back
So
and forth. But it's an
yeah.
entire
So
BIM, so your whole BIM asset in 3D, basically.
exactly. So as you mentioned, we have like tweaking the axes of position, rotating, scaling it if needed to match that exactly to the model.
Got it. Okay. So you throw in those the same way you would furniture. And if you are interested in doing other assets like video, would you just kind of link to video in YouTube or something like that? Or does that also have to be a MP4?
Yeah, you can upload either or. So you can upload via a URL link or via a file as well to view all that content.
Okay. And that too, asset that gets dropped in, and you can place it on any wall in the structure.
Exactly.
When you're in the physical space, you don't see the Matterport model, or I mean, right? You see all the assets that you've dropped in, but you're not actually looking at the Matterport model itself. Does it automatically know to not show you the Matterport model? Can you choose to show you the Matterport model?
Yeah, well, essentially the Matterport model would be the physical space. So you're actually viewing the physical space through the camera lens, and then all that additional layer of digital data will be layered on top of that physical space. So really there's no need to kind of view that Matterport scan because you're in the real life space that the scan's been taken from. The Matterport model isn't viewable, but the physical space is, with all the additional content that has been layered over here. So yeah, if you're in this office space, you wouldn't see the Matterport model, but you would see everything as it is true to life in the scan.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, just with this additional content added in.
And if you have, I don't know, like a Matterport model of a previous stage, like an unfinished asset, can you choose to show it?
Yeah, so good question. So we've done custom builds like that, like you showed for Arup. And a few other clients as well. We have like a timescale coming in as a forward-facing feature later in the year to be able to kind of scrub through different time periods. But yeah, that's coming. But yeah, we have had clients request that, and we've done custom builds and had some good success with it.
Got it. Okay, so right now it's a bit of a custom build for you guys, but that is a feature that's coming by the end of the year. And what that means is I could scan my build as a facility manager prior to, let's say, insulation and sheetrock, so I can see all that MEP, the plumbing and the wiring and all that stuff that's inside the walls, have a Matterport scan of that, and then integrate that into the AR Connect and actually be able to see that model when I'm in the physical space after everything's been covered up.
Yes, correct. Yeah.
Awesome. I mean, I am not a facility manager, but I can definitely imagine. I've done some, very minor construction work. I can definitely imagine knowing what's inside the walls is absolutely huge to me. I think that would be amazing from, my perspective. Just installing something that, requires knowing where the studs are would be great. That would be amazing.
Exactly. It's very, very useful for many different stakeholders who want to come in and see certain elements or be able to understand the data coming from certain elements. So yeah, it's a massive time saver. As well as a very innovative way to be able to view and visualize that data.
Yeah. Brilliant. Okay. So what let's look at some questions. Did you have any videos? Because I know we talked about that park.
Example. I can show you an example. Yeah, I can show you an example here that we did. Let me just bring it up. So it's a park called Argyle Square. And we were working with Melbourne Council on this to essentially understand how the general public is interacting with the park and the different elements within the park. So bear with me a second. Let me just bring this up. Awesome. So all of this is on our website as well. We do have a video here that I can scrub through, but it's essentially just understanding, as I said, different elements, temperature data, understanding the capacity of bins, for example, when they need to be replaced, how full they are at particular times, understanding how often they get used. There's a stage here as well. I can just scrub through this video. It's probably easier. Hopefully this comes through, as sometimes it can be a little bit jittery, the videos. So yeah, these are kind of the three areas we were focusing on through the testbed functionality to test all this. Where are we? Better understanding and communicating park activity. And just communicating transparently about the tech and the use and the data capture that this provides. So we have these tags. So these are essentially matter tags that have been converted to AR tags within the space to understand how these are being interacted with. These have been connected with IoT data. As I mentioned, the bins, how full they are, etc. We also have a stage here. There's a public stage. So there were sensors integrated into the ceiling to understand how or when the stage was getting used and how much and how long people were spending on that stage throughout the different months. Whoops. And as well as just understanding, temperature, microclimates of the different areas of the park as well. Bench usage. Just little aspects like this that will really help councils to really understand how the park's been interacted with and how they can best use that data to apply to other areas, other parks and things like that. So pretty cool little concept here. As mentioned, it had the IoT data feeding through pedestrian sensors, etc. This was a really cool.
Sorry, was this done this way so that the public would be able to access this information and just kind of see and for their own capacity, or is this?
Yeah, good question. I believe this was an internal project just with the councils, but I believe that there was scope to kind of provide this as an end product to end users or the public using the park itself. But I think initially it was just for councils' use, to understand